Hello everyone, this is Shaurya from Market Times TV, and today we will discuss how exactly political uncertainties are impacting the slowdown in economy and in stock markets. Stock markets have tumbled since Tuesday, and if you look about the current rates, then Sensex is down by 212 points, Nifty is down by 31 points, and in Asian markets, Nikkei was down by 436 points. At the same time, if you talk about European markets, FTSE is also down, and US markets, Dow closed by more than 400 points of decline yesterday. So let's discuss what the main reason for that. Now, most importantly, it is the economic slowdown. Everyone expected that data won't be great, but no one expected that data won't be that bad. ISM manufacturing index of US came at 47.4. Now this is one of the worst numbers since 2009, and in 2009 there was recession, so that brought fear of recession back in the mind of investors and economists. And at the same time, it's not just US, the same weak economic data is being observed from Europe and also from Japan. If we talk about Europe, then its PMI was also below 50, and at the same time the PMI of Germany came at 41, which is high time low, and at the same time the core inflation of Europe was at 0.9, means inflation target was expected to rise by 1%, but they rose only by 0.9%, and because of that there was again tension in the markets. Now economic data from Japan was also very poor, and if you talk about the reasons, the main reasons for that is said to be the economic slowdown and political uncertainty. Now, according to Donald Trump, markets are down because interest rates are very high, and because interest rates are very high, that's one of the main reasons of economic slowdown. And he also blamed impeachment process filed against him by the Democrats for the reason of economic slowdown. Now, he is saying Democrats are more concerned about impeachment process than legislation process and activities, while House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that Democrats can work simultaneously with the Trump on legislative issues, and at the same time impeachment inquiry can also be done. While economists pointed out that economic slowdown is due to trade war and Brexit. On trade war front, things may improve when US and China will talk next week, but we can't say same about Brexit, as British Prime Minister Boris Johnson proposed a new proposal on Brexit, and EU has already pointed out that there are some problems along in that. But they also added there are some positives, while adding that more work needs to be done on that. And at the same time, he offered to remove Irish backstop. Now Irish backstop is very controversial issue in the Brexit proposal, and Ireland has already pointed out that this will be a problem. At the same time, he is also facing the same problem in his own country. Now, even his own country, Boris Johnson can face problem while passing the bill through Parliament, because Labour Party has said that his bill is even worse than the one presented by Theresa May. And talking about political uncertainty, a new one is emerging in the form of US and EU trade war. After WTO ruled in the favor of US and allowed it to impose tariffs on EU, the amount of 7.5 billion, mainly on the ground that European companies give illegal subsidies to the Airbus. Now, EU has already stated that this imposition of tariff will be short-sighted and counterproductive. Still, US has decided to impose 25% of tariff on European products from 18th October. Now, all this economic weakness in the world is basically emerging from political uncertainties like US-China trade war, Brexit, and these events are going on since more than a year. But recent economic tensions like tensions in Middle East between Iran and other countries ranging from US, UK, Saudi are also creating problems. Protests in Hong Kong and now impeachment of Donald Trump, in fact new trade war between US and Europe are also creating a lot of uncertainties, and that is impacting the global economy. Now major question comes is, how does political uncertainty impact the global economy? See, behind any economic activity by any business, the main aim is profit in the future. So if there is uncertainty in the political environment, that casts a doubt whether how situations will play out in the future, and there is doubt on future profit. Now since business main aim is the future profit, and they don't see there will be profit in the future, therefore they try to reduce their capital expenditure, and that also lead to fall in the consumers expenditure, because after capital expenditure starts to fall, there is slowdown in the economy, and that effect is also felt by the consumers. At the same time, most of these tensions between US, China Europe and UK in the form of Brexit, and US and Europe revolves majorly around the trade. So because of all these trade issues, if the trading activities in these countries and between both the parties involved in the trade tensions are reduced. So reduction in trade tensions directly impact the political uncertainties, and that in itself impact the global economy directly. Moreover, in this interconnected world, in any part, if there is any problem, then effect is felt by whole world. Say for example, when there was drone attack on oil field in Saudi Arabia, its impact was felt across the whole global market. Why? See, if there is reduced in oil supply after the attack, this means oil price was supposed to rise. Now if oil price will rise, then most of the countries will face problems. Why? Because most of the countries meet their oil need by the importing oil. So if prices of oil become more, then they have to pay more for the oil demand, and therefore that will lead to one fall in their own currency, and at the same time they have to pay more for oil, which will creep into inflation, and inflation will start rising, and an already weak economic scenario where companies are not facing any profit, so their costs will also rise as oil is a major input cost. So due to all these reasons, there was the economic slowdown, and as I give you an example, one feature can lead to impact the whole world. Like if we talk about US-China trade war, it's such the biggest economies of the world, so any problem in that is impacting the whole world, because MNCs are in various countries, and if there is a problem by US company in China, so then its profit will be low, and that impacts will be felt in all of its branches across the world. So according to that, economists are saying there will be recession, and like the number of PMI which came similar to the one when we observed during the time of recession, economics become more fearful. Like we have also observed when there was a yield inversion between bonds, and that is also again a trend of upcoming recession. So all these trends supporting the trade tensions, political tensions, and the data of economic slowdown put mind in the cast of people that there will be economic recession, and that's why we see stock markets are tumbling. Now if we take a price updates on all the things, Brent is up by trading at 57.54, WTI is trading at 52.8, and oil markets have fallen today basically on the weak demand scenario. Now gold prices have in fact risen. Gold prices are 1504.7, and silver is trading at 17.64 per ounce. Now gold prices are important because see, in the time of uncertainty, people try to invest in safe havens, and gold are safe havens along with bond yields. But if you talk about bond yields specifically of US, that has also fallen, and it is around 1.585. So in times of low bond yields, even all the safe haven people and risk appetite is already low, they move towards gold. That's why gold prices are low. And if we talk about dollar index, in fact dollar index is quite high right now. It is above 99 at 99.04, and that is one of the major reasons why rupee is also fallen below 71, and currently rupee is at 71.18 against dollar. Well, if you talk about yield of Indian government bond, it is also at 6.61%. So that is right now Bureau Report, Market Times TV.
आपको अगर हमारा वीडियो पसंद आया है तो इसे लाइक करें, साथ ही YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और मोर अपडेट्स जानने के लिए बेल आइकन को दबाना न भूलें।